Okay, that is Coldplay. Good evening, guys. Coldplay, or Chris Martin, even the singer in Coldplay. What did he just say? He just said, you might be a big fish in a little pond, right? They're lyrics from a song called Lost, I believe that is. Now, that saying, big fish in a little pond, what does it mean? How does it affect your life? What does it mean to you? A lot of people crave that feeling, right? It's like feeling the best in the room, the biggest fish in the pond. But a lot of the time people don't outgrow their potential because they stay in a pond that is too small for them. They stay somewhere where, they could do a lot better, but they stay in a scenario where they are at the top and they are at the peak, so that they're not forced to be uncomfortable and to actually grow. Because it's more comfy to be at the top in a position that you're comfortable in, obviously. It makes sense. I don't need to go into all the details, but then it is to take a risk and go into another pond and potentially not be the biggest fish, but you can obviously grow up and get to be a bigger fish anyway. I think a good example of this is the movie Good Will Hunting. In Good Will Hunting, Matt Damon portrays a character that's very intellectual, very smart, and has a lot of potential to do well in life, financially, successfully, all of it. And one of his biggest things is his friends and he doesn't actually have family, so his friends, right? That is his loyalty to his friends. He keeps saying to himself how he's not going to want to go off and change, like he just wants the simple life working as a labourer. But I believe that is because he's got so comfortable in it. I believe that it's because he's got so comfortable within that lifestyle, and essentially he's become a big fish in a little pond. He's respected by his friends. He has good relationships with them. He's smart and he can challenge anyone intellectually who are around him. He is a big fish in a little pond, and he's scared to take that leap into the bigger pond. I mean, eventually, the dogs are going. But anyway, that's just one example as well. I think you've got to realise that. You've got to understand. For example, with me, I'm not saying I was the biggest fish in my pond at my previous workplace, but I'd got to a point where I was consistently one of the top earners in my workplace. And I did it 8 months in a row. I didn't see any room for growth. I just felt like I'd already reached my maximum. And then I could have potentially become a manager. And I'm sure I've spoken this in previous videos, but that wouldn't have given me any, it would have taught me a few other things, but not the financial freedom and the actual freedom that I would have wanted. So I've taken a leap out of that pond and I've come into a new ocean filled with all these massive fish, and I'm not right at the top yet, but that's fun. Now I've got the journey of getting up there and making my way through it. So yeah, the fact that even Chris Martin's singing it in a song, I'll be honest, I didn't even know this song. I just typed in on Spotify, big fish in a little pond, and I searched by lyric. But I saw Chris Martin, Coldplay, I was like, nice, banger. But yeah, you might be a big fish in a little pond, doesn't mean you've won, because along may come a bigger one. Ooh, bit of a bar there by Chris. But yeah, take that into consideration, guys. Make sure you're constantly learning, you're growing, and if you feel capped at a certain place, why are you still there? Be honest with yourself, why are you actually still there? Comfort? You enjoy doing it? Or you enjoy the feeling that you're one of the best in that scenario, or the best in that game? It's an interesting one because obviously people talk about mastery, mastering something and becoming the best at it. And I think that's true, but you've got to understand as well, if you actually are the best at it in that game. So for example, sales, something I was interested in, and at that workplace I knew there was, it's not like I mastered it within that workplace, but with the outside world of sales, there's so many more things to master. So yeah, don't settle for less. Don't be a big fish in a little pond. Understand it's fine. You can grow some legs, re-evolve, and walk over to another pond and start swimming in that one. But it can all still be related. You don't have to jump career path, but just make sure you can progress. Anyway, food for thought, guys. Food for thought. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, guys. Bye-bye.